Today, working on a Sony Handycam. It's a TRV318. This is a Hi8. And the problem with this one was it was out of time. And the reason why it was out of time was because whoever worked on it didn't know what they were doing. These have a known issue. You can see that pinch roller right there where these crack. Well, what the guy did instead of just replacing the whole pinch roller was he took the whole entire deck apart and he actually put the metal on top of the guide, which instead of going, I'm not sure you could see, I should have done this when I had the transport out. But I had this thing in so many pieces and trying to figure out where everything goes that I didn't want to mess it up, reason why I didn't do a video. But there's actually pretty much a lever that goes like this, and it's supposed to be under the guide, not on top of the guide. So when the guide goes down, it pushes it that way, but he had it on top of it. So what happened was it was out of time and threw this off timing. Thankfully, didn't crunch the gears on this one. Unfortunately, for this one right here, the one I really wanted to fix, the 340, because this is a Hi8 digital 8 and 8mm one that has the firewire port. I was gonna actually use this for doing transfers because it has the firewire out on it. It is pretty much fucked. The guy did the same thing on this one, but this one didn't fare too well. It crunched all the gears and stuff like that, so there's really nothing I can do. Now I will do a teardown because I'm getting a whole new transport for that one to put into that one. Thankfully, this one I was able to save. Now, to actually time the transport on this is not easy because it requires complete disassembly. You have to take pretty much everything out. The fuel finder, this, the whole main board, and then there's 3 screws that hold this whole entire transport in place. And then once you get everything out, you can slide transport that way. Then you gotta remove the loading mechanism, the plates, all that other stuff to get to where the gears and cams and everything is to retime it and stuff like that. Not an easy process, but I will show you how to do it when I get this one done, because I'm going to show you the carnage that happened to this one, why it's not fixable. I will fix the camera though, but unfortunately it's going to need a whole entire new transport because the guy went ahead and mistimed it, and unfortunately that one crunched the gears and there's nothing I can do to save it. But thankfully this one I was able to save. Hopefully it'll play back a tape. I'll find out once I get the LCD back on and stuff like that. I don't got the LCD back on. I went ahead and just got this all put back together and stuff like that. And like I said, I would have showed you how to do the timing on this, but I had to figure it out myself because it's so much disassembling and stuff like that. Thankfully, it's not as hard as it is because there is timing holes on the actual transport where the gears line up and all that other stuff. So once you get it apart, it's pretty easy to figure it out and stuff. So I'm gonna go and get the LCD back on it, and hopefully we'll see if this thing works and bring it back to life. Figure I'll go over another common issue before I go and put this all the way back together, and that is if you get the error code C3123. Now if you get that error code, in this case it was because the transport literally was out of time, but sometimes what happens is the connections on these flat flex cables here oxidizes. When it oxidizes, it either doesn't detect when the reels is moving or something like that, and it causes it to throw out an error code because it thinks there's a problem with the transport. So how you fix that is just to pull up on these cables and actually clean the contact with alcohol and stuff. On this one right here, you do gotta actually lift the tap upwards and then you can slide it out. And then you just go and clean the contacts and then slide them back in there, and that normally will resolve the issue. Also check too, like I said, the pinch roller right there. There is that white nylon washer that holds it in place. Make sure that isn't cracked in the middle, otherwise your pinch roller is going to fall out too as well. And that also can cause damage to the machine if it gets stuck in there, of course. So check those 2 things. It is a common problem on these. So let's just see, this will go and accept the tape now. So we'll go and hit this over here. There you go. Let's hope it don't jam. I don't even know if this works. Yep, and it does take it up. That's good. That's a relief. So let's go and see if we get any video playback. We do? We're golden. Here you go, because I still got it in part because I didn't want to put it all the way back together, find it doesn't work. Okay. Let's turn it on, of course, it would help. Yep, and there you go. No error code, so that's good. And yep, there you go. It is working. It lives again. And let's just go ahead and forward it. Yes, this tape was Eden's. That's why I'm using it. That's not the camera, that's actually the tape itself because this tape was damaged. Good, so it is working. Okay, let's see if we get rewind. Yeah, I am happy. So we were able to save one. Let's see if we get fast forward if any of the gears, like the spindles are not cracked or anything. And that sounds absolutely great. Okay. Yeah, and I didn't see no cracks on the spindle. Beautiful. So we brought this one back to life. Good. So at least one of the three are working, and yeah, there was 3 of them. This one here, same issue. He went ahead and tried to do the exact same stupid thing, and as you can see, it won't go all the way down because one of the guides is actually hitting that pinch roller. I don't know who did these, but they messed up 2 of them. Now this one here, likely I'll be able to save 2. I'm gonna go and work on this separate in a separate video, but that also has the same problem. It's out of time too. But thankfully we were able to at least save this one, so I'm gonna go and get this one back together, clean it up, and hope she still works. So what I did to make this camera nicer, because this thing was disgusting, and this will happen so it's common, I took a good one and went ahead, and you have to remove that screw, then you can release that, and then you can slide that out and slide the new one back in, screw it back down, and you're good to go. Another common issue is dust gets into these viewfinders, and in order to clean the dust out, you do have to remove the 2 screws that's on the bottom holding this in, and then just this lifts right out. Once you do that, you can unclip the 2 clips there, pop the lens assembly out, clean both sides of the lens with, of course, glass cleaner, pop it back in there. Make sure you have the nub that's on the bottom of this, and then the LCD is sitting in the slot right there, so it goes and lines up, and as you can see, it pushes that away from the LCD. So you want to make sure you got that all lined up before you go and reassemble it. So went ahead and fully reassembled the camera, and as you can see, it's complete. All the screws are there now. Now it does got the nice, still got to find the fuel finder piece for it. Let's go ahead and test to see if it still works. There is a tape still in it. Okay, let's just hit play. The speaker does sound distorted, so I might have to replace that, but it is working. It is putting out sound. Okay. Should be actually a lot clearer than that, but it is what it is. I know it is clean on the video output, it's just on this turtle speaker, so they probably put the volume all the way up and messed it up. Let's go ahead and pause. Yep, let's stop. Now let's go fast forward. And this is the way the transport should sound. Now stop, of course, because there is no video on the rest of the tape. The rest of the tape is actually blank. Alright. Let's go and rewind. And that's how healthy transport should sound. There you go. Now it's back to where the video is. This is good, hit play. Yeah, speaker is a little distorted, so that will have to get replaced. Alright, and then let's just go to camera mode and test that out real quick. Yep, okay, and then I can zoom in. And out, yeah, it works, so there you go. And I know record works, so. Alright. Let's just make sure it gives us a tape without eating it. Yep, and this one is fully working now, except for the speaker, but I'll deal with that some other day. At least we got one good one out of there, so. There you go. Next video could be of this one more likely, because I am doing a whole new transport on this since the gears are chewed up because the guy mistimed it. I do want to fix that, and thankfully I was able to find another part camera that has a broken LCD, but the transport's actually good, and I got it for $4 and $15 shipping, so I paid $18 for it. So my intention is, if it uses the Sony B mechanism, which this is what this one here uses, I'm just going to take the transport out of that one and put it in this one. I might take the heads assembly off that though and put it on the other transport, because the heads on this one are actually in pretty good condition. So just depends on what kind of condition that one comes in. But this concludes the video for the Sony Handycam CCD-TRV318.